Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Gaskins here, popping in. Can't really look at you too much because my son playing, so I'm watching out the window. It's real wet, so I got my little guy in here with me. It was just pouring raining, so my wife she went out there to sit in the wet. But when we had a little guy, I gotta stay back with him so he don't get too soaking wet for no reason. But something was on my heart, and I wanted to share this with you because a lot of times, we're confronted with situations where you are tested, and whenever you commit to righteousness and you commit to faithfulness, you commit to maturity, and you make that decision, you're gonna be tested. And you'll be tested to see where your heart really is, to see if you're really living what you say you're living. And the trick of the enemy is to bring you down, is to get you to operate from another level, to get you to stoop to their level. So it's kind of like if you're dealing with somebody and they yell at you. Typically, if somebody yells at you, you'll yell back at them. If somebody curses at you, you'll curse back at them. If somebody, lies on you, you may lie on them. Somebody gossips about you, you gossip about them. We typically, as you've heard, every action has a reaction that is equal or greater. But what we don't consider is that the reaction doesn't have to be, that equal or greater doesn't have to be in the same vein that they did it from. So an equal reaction in a positive light could also be called a response. And that equal or greater in a response could be, did we score? We scored. Did they get that to us? They gave that to us. They gave that to us. All right, 2-0, 2-0. We winning. And so that equal or greater, no, man, this is an exit. This is an exit. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, see, hold on, man. Man, need to learn how to drive now. You hit this hill now. I'm gonna be calling such and such law. Sue that insurance. Come on now, man. Come on now, man. Now you see, right what I'm talking about. People go to testing your patience. Everybody, this is an exit beside me, and people trying to park right here in the exit. I had to tell one man, yeah, this is an exit. You blocking the exit. And so what you have to realize is this response, when you respond, if somebody curses at you and you stay calm, although you didn't do what they did, that still is a greater reaction, because now they're like, hold on now, I'm cursing by myself. Hold on now, what's going on? Like, oh, so you're not gonna argue? And see, people get used to triggering you. People get used to getting a certain response from you. And when you start to grow and you start to elevate, you start to change, now they're getting a different response from you, and it throws them off, because when you respond in a negative way, or in the same way that they acted toward you, when you react in the same way, they're like, okay, I got you. I control you. I have power over you. I press this button and you do this. I press this button and you do this. And people will do that, and you have to be mindful of that. You have to be mindful of that, and you got to say, okay, this how they want me to react. But this what I'm finna do. Boom. And you hit them in a different way, and now they're like, what's going on? And if you've ever done this, you've noticed somebody may say, oh, you don't love me anymore. or you don't care anymore, or you're not trying anymore. And when you really think about it, you say, okay, so because I'm not yelling back at you, that means I don't love you anymore. Or because I'm not cursing back at you, that means I don't love you anymore. Or that means I don't care anymore. Like, and this could be anywhere now. This not just speaking about like a relationship. This could be your friendship. This could be on the job, your boss, your coworker, your subordinate, your staff, your team. They could typically do certain things and get a certain reaction out of you. Now, when you don't give them that reaction, they're like, hold on. You're acting like you don't care anymore. You act like you've checked out. You act like, you're ready to leave. You're ready to, that you're looking for another job. I thought I seen you on Indeed.com. And so now, Indeed, send me a check. And so now they're looking and they're wondering what's going on. What's going on? And that's what I mean is you have to get to that place to where you stop giving people the old you. And listen, I don't want to hear nobody's mouth. Well, you're not shoot no video if you can't look at the camera. Why I got to look at you? I ain't got to look at nobody but Sharik Gaskins. Just put the phone down and just hear the message. All right? Because somebody in the comments now, you need to look at the camera. What you want eye contact for? I'm married. Got to look at Sharik Gaskins. And the reason why I'm saying it, because people done said that before. I'm like, don't worry about me looking at the camera. This ain't about my eyes. This is about my voice. This ain't about us making eye contact. This is about you hearing my voice. You put the phone down. So now listen to me now. Listen to me. This is where the growth has to happen at. This is where the growth has to happen at. The growth has to be in a place to where people don't really recognize or remember or understand your reaction. Now, when I was changing my life, I was listening to Zig Ziglar, and what Zig Ziglar was talking about, he taught this thing, and he said, now this probably was 2010. I used to listen to his podcast 8 to 10 hours a day. And he said, a reaction is negative, a response is positive. And he said, just like when you go to the doctor and the doctor say your body's reacting to the medicine, so we need to change it. He said, that's a negative. He said, if the doctor say, hey, your body's responding to the medicine, he said, that's a positive. Now, this old country workaround way of understanding this, and Zig Ziglar being from Yazoo, Mississippi, I don't know if that's the real, definition of response and reaction, but it makes sense. And so the lesson was don't react, instead respond. But they kind of one and the same, so I'm using them interchangeably because a reaction doesn't have to be negative. And so when you take this time and they on water break right now, that's why I can look at you. And now you respond, now you upend the adversary's plan. And so the adversary going to be tempting you and testing you. Because see, the Bible say God tempts no man. That anytime you tempted, that's from the adversary. The adversary is who tests you as well. Because see, it would be cruel. A lot of times God say, God put me on this test, or God put me through this test. See, God may allow it to happen, but that don't mean it's coming from God. That could be the enemy. The enemy asked to test Job. That wasn't God's idea. The enemy say, he supposed to be faithful. Let me test him. Let me test him. Let me touch him. God said, okay, you could test him, but you can't kill him. And he made it through he lost everything but his life. And on the other side, like the pastor used to say, double for your trouble. How many of y'all pastors used to say that? Double, you gonna get double for your trouble. Boy, the pastor come up with something, won't they? You finna get a double portion on the other side. And so that's what you have to realize. And that has to be your goal every day. And a lot of people remain stuck. A lot of people remain stuck. And I remember, even with me in my finances, I was the type of person, as I'm growing and I became adult, if I made $600 on that check, I spent $600 and spent me another $500 on a credit card. So I spend the $600 cash, then I spend me another $500 on a credit card. So now I done spent $1,100 and only made $600. That's how I was with my finances. Now some people strong in that area, some people ain't. I wasn't. You know when my life changed financially is when I start responding differently to finances. When I started sowing 10%, to God's work, investing 10%, saving 10%. When I started doing that, then it was like my finances, the windows of heaven unlocked, because now my response on earth, in the physical, in the natural, to how I dealt with money, I tapped into a universal law. See, just like when the men in the Bible was given the different talents. One was given 1, one was given 5, one was given 10. Based on how they responded to that gift, determine what they receive in life. And so it was a mindset shift, and then the actions followed it. And so that's what you have to realize is a lot of times the breakthrough in your life, that breakthrough is depending upon your response to the situation. So when you keep getting negative, when you keep getting down, when you keep speaking poverty, you keep speaking lack, you keep speaking desperation, frustration, anger, you keep speaking negatively against your situation, you're going to stay downtrodden. You're going to stay wading in the water. You're going to stay coming up on the rough side of the mountain. And it ain't necessarily got to do with finance and how much finance you got, because there's people in third world countries who they don't have the financial means, but if they truly believe in God, God gonna give them peace. Walking barefoot with no clothes on, God will give them peace, like they in the Garden of Eden, and they country may be in a famine if they truly believing in God. And yes, it may be painful. Yes, food may be scarce, but when you tap into God and you respond differently, you're gonna be given peace, because your peace is the real prosperity. Ma'am, this is the exit, ma'am. Ma'am, this is the exit. I said somebody gonna have to park here eventually. I mean, I'll be able to get out. I can just bag straight out. This sister here, she said, all right, I own this here. Oh yeah, excuse me, man, this the exit. Y'all gotta forgive me. Sometimes you gotta do 3-4 things at one time. And I'm up here acting like I work for the parking lot. Like the parking lot give me a check. Sister putting on all kind of sunscreen. She ready to get going. Just gonna park in the exit. Oh yes, man, you in the exit. I ain't gonna say nothing to her though, cause sometimes right there, cause she look like the people that they be having trending on Twitter talking about Karen and all this here. That's what she looked like. She'll be cussing me out. See, the other guy was a man. I know men, so I know he wasn't gonna come out the mouth crazy. But a woman, sometimes women are gonna get loud with you for no reason. Man, you realize you're in the exit? Oh yes, man, you need to be trying to move. Excuse me, man, you parked in the exit. Yep, this the exit. Yep, they got parking right there on the grass across the street. Yep, but that's the exit. That's the only way out. What you laughing at, Tay? I just had to let her know she in the exit. Man, you in the exit. She seen the cars go that way. No, ma'am, all the cars coming this way, ma'am. Don't sit there and tell that story. Now you see right across the street right there, you got a little bit more parking. Come on now, man. Now I just had said a nice tour. Excuse me, ma'am. You in the exit. Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me. I was just not caring. Her name Esmeralda. Excuse me, Esmeralda. Maria. You in the exit. She said, oh, I see all the cars going that way. Oh, no, man. See, the soccer, you got all different kind of cultures out here. People from all different kind of countries. Now, she would have got loud. She would have got loud. You know, I just would have let, all right, man, go right ahead. Go right ahead, man. I wouldn't have said nothing to her. But see how I did that right there? Just nice, you know. And she responded nice, and she gone ahead. She could have got an attitude. She could have got loud. I'm over here acting like I'm the parking police. But also, ma'am, you blocking my view. I got the perfect view now. And so that's another thing. What I want you to understand is as you growing as a person, I could have, even my tone of voice, I could have said it with a little, ma'am, you're in the exit. Excuse me, ma'am, do you know that's an exit? You see what I mean? But I said, excuse me, ma'am, you parked in the exit. Just like that. That's a part of growth. And I see this with humans as I'm dealing with people, how people just, sometimes people will just talk to you and just off the rip, they're a little rude. And that's what I'm telling you is that breakthrough, that next level in your life, in every area of your life, the next level requires that you grow. It's dependent upon your growth. Because see, God ain't gonna put you somewhere or put you on a level or at a height that you can't withstand the test that's gonna be sent your way by the adversary. God ain't gonna elevate you externally until you have elevated internally. So your life won't change physically until your life changes mentally. That's why they say you got to see it in your mind before you see it with your eyes. You see it in your mind's eye before you see it with your physical eye. And I don't know if that's what they say or what I say, but we all say it. And so that's what I had to realize. Everything changed in my life after I started to change my heart and change my attitude. That's when I started to see things change. And that's why you have heard great thinkers say that, because it's a universal law. Meaning, when I say universal law, I'm not saying that is without God. But what I'm saying is it works for male, female, black, white, young, and old. When you change the way you respond to situations, then you'll start to notice the situations and the people in the situation start to change. Now, see, my baby boy in here, he's 7 years old, and he listen to me talk like this. And a lot of time we don't think that they grasping stuff. We don't think that they hear. He could speak English, and he could comprehend and understand. And a lot of times we don't realize that. And my wife was telling me about, they had his first grade class, they had to write a nugget of wisdom for the seniors, for their senior pal. And the teacher said she could tell that he was thinking really hard. And then he came up and he said, hey, I know what I want to say. And the lesson he gave was a lesson that his teacher gives them all year long. And she says she didn't really know if they listen and pay attention and that they grasp on this lesson. And I can't remember what the lesson was. Tatum, you remember what the lesson was that you wrote for Noah?
What?
For Noah. The lesson that you gave Miss Sneagle for Noah.
I don't know. I don't remember what it says. I forgot.
You can't remember what it said?
No.
Something that Miss Sneagle told y'all. That you said to Noah about turning the switch or turning the page. See, you remember. He into that video game. I don't remember nothing in that video game.
I didn't know you were talking about that.
Yeah, that. What does turning the page mean?
You have to go to the next level.
You got to go to the next level. That means that you have to
Go to a different place.
go to a different place.
Soon.
I like that. 7 years old, from the mouth of babes. What is it called? Turning the page?
Yeah. Turning the page.
Turning the page. That's a lesson right there. Turning the page. Thank you, Miss Sneagle. That's his first grade teacher. Turning the page. See, a lot of times we don't realize that our kids, they're watching us. So when you in traffic and somebody cut you off, what the? Such and such. You letting down the window. You throwing all kind of, your 5-year-old, your 4-year-old. So now when they get 16 and somebody cut them off, what you doing? Flicking all kind of birds. And then guess what? Now your 16-year-old do that right there in traffic. And the man beside him, and you 16, I'm sorry. But what they learned that from? They mama, they daddy. Because they didn't get to see you be cool under pressure. They didn't get to see how you handle yourself in a proper way. So you taught them how to handle themselves in a negative way. You taught them how to gossip. You taught them how to backbite. You taught them how to pick at people, pick on people, make fun of people. You taught them how to curse. You taught them how to smoke, how to drink. You taught them how to sleep around and date multiple people. See, with our actions, we teaching them stuff. And a lot of time we don't even realize what we're teaching them and that they learning. And that's why your growth is so important. So my sons, they don't see me and my wife yelling at each other. They don't see us yelling at each other or cursing at each other. They'll see us joking and playing. My oldest son, he may see a little attitude, like if I say something that I want to do or my wife say something she want to do and when the other one don't agree, he don't see us go at each other. Somebody might just get quiet. Somebody might just, okay, all right, that's fine. All right, that's fine. But see, now he knows, though, that's at least how you handle a difference of opinion and not, I'm sick and tired of this. See ya, this what I don't like. And that's what a lot of times we don't realize, our lack of growth, that's what it's doing. And you teach people how to treat you. Now, you seen that quote go viral online. Dr. Phil stole that from me. I wrote a quote years ago. It say you teach people how to treat you by what you stop, what you allow, and what you reinforce. And I learned that from working in the group home, because we have to learn behavioral science in the group home. And one of the behavioral science lessons was kind of along those lines. Certain things we were taught to ignore, certain behaviors we were taught to stop, and then certain behaviors we were taught to reinforce. And so that ain't my lesson. It's just my wording. But I learned it from behavioral science. And I put that in a quote, and it went viral. Next thing I know, I seen a Dr. Phil show sharing my quote. I'm like, oh, Dr. Phil, producers done gave the man my exact quote. Ain't say my name nowhere. But you know, that's how it go. But you see what I mean? That's where the lesson at, and the lesson is deeper. So in every aspect of your life, if you co-parenting, change the way you deal with your child's other parent. Change the way you deal with them and take it up a notch in a positive direction. We getting a penalty kick right now. I think it's 2-0. We getting a penalty kick. If on your job, we scored 3-0. Change the way that you interact with your coworkers, your staff, your teammates, your boss, if you got a boss, if you're not the boss, your supervisor, your manager. Turn it up a notch in a positive direction. If you already positive, you already do stuff good, you still can take it up a notch with thank you cards, with roses, with balloons, with text message after work showing gratitude, with an email expressing gratitude. You still could take it up a notch. With your spouse, if you marry, with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, with your children. In every aspect, change the way that you interact. So it's certain times where you're gonna have to get a little firm. But it's different being firm verbally and pulling out your gun. That's the difference. So my son may see me rip somebody a new one now. My son may see me get with somebody and check them, but I could have pistol whipped them. I could have pulled a gun on them. I could have physically put hands on them. So he saw me handle myself, but he saw me handle myself without yelling, without cursing, and without getting physical. So he know that, okay, it's certain moments to where you're going to have to read somebody, top to bottom, left to right, to let them know that you're not to be played with, but you ain't getting irate and you ain't going overboard doing nothing that's going to put you behind bars or in the court of law getting sued civilly. So that's what I want you to understand. And this is something that has changed my life. I apologize that I couldn't just talk directly to you, because I'm trying to serve and be there and be here. And sometimes ain't enough time in the day to do everything. But hopefully you got this message. But that has changed my life. That has changed my life. And it has been a large part of just the growth and the ascension in my business, in my personal life, in my marriage. And even in my marriage, I'm working. Every single day I'm working, because a lot of times I feel personality quirks. And I don't know if it comes from several concussions. I don't know if it comes from dealing with the energy and the opinions of 3 million women online. And the men, I have hundreds of thousands of men, probably around 500,000-600,000 online, but they don't really bother me. It's because it's mostly women. It'd be mostly women that be disturbing my peace and sending, stupid messages. And when I say stupid, I mean it in a literal word, the literal meaning, not in a derogatory term. And it's a lot of times it drown out the positive messages and the positive, women that write me. And so sometimes that bothers me, and I could carry that into my marriage, and just be kind of like quiet or be kind of short in my response. And so I have to daily just process and just check myself and say, hey, okay, leave that there now. Leave that there. That was Brenda on YouTube comments, not Cherie Gaskins. So, okay, you had to block Brenda. Now, if you're a good Brenda, just ignore what I'm talking about. They testing my son right there. They testing him. He made the boy make a bad pass. So he was on his hip, but they tested him, boy. And so now you done blocked Brenda on YouTube. All right, now leave that there. Leave that there. He flying in here like he ain't got no sense. Boy, I tell you, boy. Somebody clipped the back of my van. The whole message might be out the window. Oh, Tony, what you talking about? You need to change the way you respond. You a hypocrite. I handle it the right way now. I be calling Morgan and Morgan. Y'all somewhere got Morgan and Morgan? Well, Morgan and Morgan got so many commercials, got so many offices. I was in Alabama. I thought the man was just in Florida. That Morgan and Morgan in Alabama, Georgia. I'm like, I know y'all ain't doing good work because you just spread too thin, Morgan and Morgan. But I sure to be on their phone. Yeah, somebody clipped me on the back of this here. Now, how much you say you done got? How much you say I could get for this? My neck hurting? Oh yeah, just heard it. Ooh, man, while I'm on the phone. But yeah, so I have to remind myself, even in my marriage, that bring good energy, bring pure energy. And You know, get your wife laughing. You know, have your wife laughing. Joke around with her. Your whole conversation ought to be joking and fun and just good energy. It shouldn't be nothing tense. You ain't got nothing to be tense for. You ain't cheating, she ain't cheating. You ain't lying, she ain't lying. You ain't stealing, she ain't stealing. Like, everything ought to be copacetic on the up and up. So if something is off, that's something outside of your relationship that's creating that tension, and you got to check that. And so I got to check that. And so text my wife yesterday. We were together in the daytime, but I was somewhere. I don't know if I went to get some food or whatever. I said, I miss you. And then she responded. She said, do you really? And I said, yeah, I miss you. And she said, I'm having a hard time believing you, but I'm missing you too. And the reason why she said I'm having a hard time believing you is because I don't always say that. I don't always show that. Because, you know, even as a man, a lot of times you could be feeling something, but you might not just show it. And so I had to remind myself, you know, let me continue to not just talk, not just say something in a text message, but let her feel it. So she was just sitting down on the seat in front of me before she went out there, and I was coming back from the bathroom and throwing some paper away. And I walked up behind her and I grabbed her hair. You know how like little girls be playing in their friend hair and they scoop up all the hair and kind of pull it out and stretch it out and just kind of bounce it and play with it, and then they might try to, you know, braid it or plait it. And I was kind of doing that, playing with her hair, and then I put my fingers to her back of her scalp right here and just kind of rubbed a little bit, and then I put my hand on the top and just kind of rubbed a little bit on her scalp, you know, like just get a little bit of that feeling like when somebody washing your hair and it just kind of hitting them nerves and it got you feeling good. I was kind of doing, and she was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she had that kind of look on her face. What are you doing? And I was like, I'm doing what I do. I'm playing in your house. She was like, but you don't play in my hair. You don't play. I said, well, I'm never really standing up behind you like this. I said, this normally is the back of the bedpost behind your head when we sitting down. And so I said, I'm doing what I'm doing. But it just kind of caught her off guard. But see, that was a part of me saying, let me make sure that I am continually finding ways to express affection. And that's growth. That's me 14 years in marriage, still trying to grow. And I'm using myself as an example to say that these messages be for me too. I'm just sharing as the Lord give it to me, and I could go and implement it. I'm sharing it with the next saint. And we all sinners and saints at the same time. But I'm sharing with the next saint to say, hey, this is a lesson the Lord just dropped on me. Now, how does this apply to you? What can you do with this? Oh, you already perfect? All right, Pharisee. Well, at least share it with your friend. Share it with somebody else then, since you're perfect. Share it with somebody else then who might need some growth, since you already grown. You ain't got nothing to change. Oh, all right, yeah. All right, here go a cookie. Yeah, just share it with somebody else then. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm just sharing it as I get it, but it's every day. I'm trying to look and trying to find somewhere. Where do I need to grow? Where do I need to change? And so, hey, get that message. God bless you, son. You need some drink, buddy? You hungry? We're going to get us something to eat. You had them goldfish, but your mama said that they weren't fresh. Hey, God bless y'all. My baby hungry. I need to figure something out. So, we'll talk soon. We'll talk soon. God bless you.